Okay, there we go again. Yes, you are definitely first. Hey, also very fast, King Mushy. I'm Teddy, man, people streaming in. I thought I was streaming. So this is exactly the point where I left off in the last stream. I think that maybe, you know, I have some kind of deficiency in my brain at some point, and then in the morning that is definitely there. I just slept, everything is recharged, and I still have my best ideas. Anyway, I suddenly had the insight that that I was correct about the problem that exists. So yesterday I said that it would, maybe it would be possible that while going backwards and filling in the descriptor set handle, I would override another null handle. And that is very true, because there can be multiple handles per shader resource, not a single one. And the only thing I remember is that I thought that was trivial this morning. Now I don't think it's trivial anymore, but it's probably still trivial. I just don't see why. But that implies that I have to. I had this more often. Anyone ever seen that old Star Trek where? The doctor of the Enterprise, what's his name? Mac something. He had to do a brain surgery on Spock. I believe the brains of Spock were taken out of his body, so he had to put back the brain or the brains of Spock. And then there was an alien machine that did teach him how to do that. So he stepped under the machine, which nearly killed him, but the machine then taught him how to do this. So after the machine was done, he was like, "Oh, of course, it's a child's game. It's so easy." And then I just started to operate on Spock. And while time passed, he started to lose it again. So he started. Became harder and harder and harder until he was completely sweating all over his face and didn't know he could finish it anymore. Then of course I said, why don't you go under the machine again? But that was not possible. If you go under it again, you would die. It was a good episode. Often I feel like that. You know, this morning it was like easy, and now it's like, what was it again? Yeah. Anyway, I believe that the set layout binding, I added a handle to that, and that is incorrect. This should be a vector of handles. Or I think now it's a memory of what I thought this morning. I think I was thinking that I could remove it here and then put it somewhere else in a map, I think. Let me think. It must be. It must be persistent. Yeah, it must be accessible from. Must be accessible from all the different pipeline factories. Definitely slipping away again. I believe this had to be a vector. Right. Oh no, I'm starting to losing it again. Or maybe it wasn't as simple as I thought. Come on. Note that this is a race condition if it fails. If it is true, then we have the lock, and therefore we are inside the critical area, and that within which mdebug have lock is being used, so we may access it here. But if it is false, we do not have the log, so someone else could be writing to it at the moment that we read it. And if we want to fix that, then I mean, if I want to make it not undefined behavior, I would have to make this an atomic. But in practice, it's basically already undefined behavior, and we're going to assert anyway. So I just believe it. Yeah, you can slack a little for debug code. Doesn't have to be 100% thread safe. So under normal circumstances where the assert is never failing anywhere, mdebug have lock is protected by the lock itself. Okay, let's see what I did. I got rid of the task event and replaced it with a task mutex, and I replaced mHandle with a vector of the scriptor sets, and I now demand that this mutex here is being locked before we access that. The plan is to replace having this set to a null handle with having the mutex locked. So someone locks this mutex, and that is the same as adding the null handle. So I'm no longer adding the null handle, but if this constructor would be used without a null handle, without a handle, or the handle is being a null handle, I still have to remove this. Maybe I really should replace this standard set with setcount bindings with the standard map. This starts to get dirty now, right? Especially because I also need a key. This is basically used as the key constructor, but temporary key. Yeah, I don't like it. Well, let's just do that, and I hope I don't forget halfway what I'm doing. So I'm gonna make it struct, call it set handles. It's inside the descriptor, so we get descriptor set handles, which then is representing this vector. So we move all of this. Yeah, I guess also this. 2 here. So we definitely do not have a handle anymore. Nor a set handle. This is just old code. Let's get rid of it. This was event stuff. I don't think I'm gonna use that anymore. Not a trigger. This is still sorting. This is accessories for the old stuff. Descriptor set handles is now. Yeah, most of this stuff has to be gone. Remove, deleted, I don't know. I just added all of this. Let's move all of this. This is inside set handles. Now I can drop the whole descriptor set handle stuff, I think. Although container type might be, if I ever want to search for that, it's a little bit too short. Let's keep it longer. I'm gonna make it just simply descriptor set container type. Yeah, this is always annoying, you know. I named this after that, and now we get a duplicated name. Plus the comment is now vague because it's referring to layout bindings, while there's a new struct. I don't know how to fix that yet. I should have somewhere stand set. I'm pretty sure it must be using. There it is. Going to change this into a map, and then we add here descriptor. Set handle. So this is called lock. What to change this into? So this is now a standard map, right? And set layout bindings is set layout bindings, which is a wrapper around the set layout bindings container type, which I change into a map. And I want to do here is standard map. Tie in place. Insert a new element into the container with key K and value constructed with args if there is no element with the key in the container. I'm not using a hint, I'm not moving the key, so we are using one, which simply passes a const reference to the key and the arguments for the constructor. And now we get back a pair iterable try in place. Maybe I should start using something for the per iterator bool. Could start using pip instead of res, so then it's in the future more obvious to me if I always use that abbreviation. That this is the typical per iterator bool thing. So then this is the boolean and the first is the iterator. However, what I really want to do here is I got the right lock on the set layout, on the set layout bindings, which is a map, and then we do a try in place with the set layout binding, which either creates it or doesn't create it. I don't even care much about that, I think. Well, maybe I do. I guess I want to call lock descriptor sets. I don't really want to pause a condition here. Oh well, why not? So yeah, I want to how to call this, but if we just created it, then we also just created a mutex. That means that the lock will always succeed. This returns true if it already existed and the handle was null. So that means that it returns true if it was already locked. It's a kind of upside down. Let's change that into the opposite. Let's change true if we succeed to get the lock. So if it did not already exist, then this is false. So the whole expression would always be false, and then inverted is that we would always succeed in getting the lock. So I can just return and I'll lock descriptor sets. As a notice, that was a heavy debugging, but let's fix it anyway. I can print conditions by name, but I need to know what the exact type is, and I know because it is a pipeline factory. I'm not sure if I wanted to add that here. I'm not sure if I didn't. Well, just print it like this for now. Okay, so we are calling this function, taking the right lock on it. on that map, I mean, and then we are adding that key, and then I'm calling lock on the vector inside the element that belongs to the set layout binding used as a key in that map, sort of. I had a feeling that we're going to need this task again here. And a VK descriptor set. Key did not exist, now we are filling it from the back. We're the only one, so we simply insert I think I can, do I have to look at here? That's a good question. No, I'm still having the right lock here. Yeah, what I want here is to add a vector with a single descriptor set element. I'm just going to do it like this, and then I'll get a compiler that I guess well, I can add it. Let me add it. This is the set descriptor set handles, and I would trying to construct that from, so I'm having a default. I needed a default constructor, and now we need a constructor that just simply adds one vector, sorry, a vector with single element descriptor set. Which then think that should work. Well, is that an insert? I don't think insert works that way. What I hate is that I can use try and place, but I know that it should succeed. Going to do that anyway. It's more common than a needed assert, because it's super trivial. Trying to find this key here did not exist, therefore if we use try in place, it will succeed, as in it will add it. But I think that the try is here so confusing that I want to add this. If the key was found, then we want to replace the handle. Do I really want to do that? No, I don't. I only want to do that when I locked it. I'm going to add a boolean here. A boolean that says if it is the final one that we locked. Boolean. Okay, well, just whatever. Locked. So what does iter return? Iter here is a I change this into a map. So we do a find, or we do a standard map find now that returns something else than that returns. I don't know. An iterator to a pair. Yeah. So also a PIB insert, really? Inserts a value of logical what resolution after to returns, I guess. Return value returns a pair consisting of an iterator to the inserted element or to the element that prevented the insertion. Okay. What the hell is the difference with try in place? Well, okay, this takes a value type. Could have overloaded it. Okay, clearly I'm suddenly getting senile again. It's that time of day. Insert. Why did I click on insert? Find. Find returns an iterator. Yeah, what the hell, man. equals end, etc. It was not locked. And so the iterator is pointing to value type, right? So I have the key, I don't care about the key. So I must do second. Yeah. This is a new handle, so it's impossible that it already exists. So we just want to do an add handle on the set handles. But yeah, I think that should work. Shall I add an assert to check that it does not already exist? It looks like very far-fetched. If it would exist, I don't think it can exist. Nah. Okay, what about thread safety? This is a member of set handles, which is an element of the container that is iterator is pointing to, of which we have the write log. It's kind of indirectly protected by this write log, isn't it? I would think so. And then finally, if locked is set, Well, let's change this a little bit. Okay, we found it, and lock by task is set. That means that we did lock this thing that we just found, whatever it is pointing to. In that case, I also have to call add handle, because it didn't add it yet. I just have to do the opposite of this after that. So really what we want to do is you're locked by task. There's a second missing here, isn't it? Seconds. Iter seconds, and then the opposite of this, which is simply that, I think. Although I think I was only passing the task when in debug mode, but yeah, well, now I have to pass that task pointer anyway, because I use it as a boolean. Yeah, doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay, it just returns a zero. I think I want to split this function again into two parts. Did that before, split this part off, and that is using a few Yeah, I'm using a vector here, pushing back stuff. And now we're sorting it here in a reentrant function. What to do? I'm confused here. This function here is doing something and it returns true at the end. And this returning true means that the caller can continue as if all the shader resources have been created. And continuing means it calls this function which uses a largest set index. But if this thing is empty, we return true as well, which is correct for the creation thing. There's nothing to create, so we succeeded in creating everything that had to be created. But we do not set a largest set index to 0. But true is indistinguishable from having created something, so it does call the next function and then it uses largest set index undefined. Now I can move this to above the if, so it's set to 0. But 0 is also not the largest set index. There is no largest set index at all. So I have to check if it is correct that largest set index will never be used if this vector is empty in the next function. Well, here it is used, assert. So what else going on? Okay, that's just an assert. You can ignore that or adjust it. Here it is used again. This one is only empty. This thing here is only empty if this is empty. Yeah, this is not going to work. I think I need to replace largest set index with the actual set index end, so I can make this loop empty. And then this loop will be empty. And now we're at the end of the function. And it is being initialized at 0 here. Guess that would work already then, unless we get that point multiple times. And we do, as far as I know. This is just a constructor. So now this loop is truly empty. Well, okay, but what was I doing? I was looking at splitting up this one, I think. Up till and including this sword. And then if we return true from that, I don't have to call the other one. That would work. That would work. So this now might be not correct anymore. I think we do have to do this. Well, we have to do this because we return true. So I'm going to explicitly add it here. And then I have to do it again and again if I call this re-entrant function. So it's initialized there. On the other hand, this also only has to be done once, right? I mean, the M required shader resources list is not changing. Yeah, we also have to do this only once. It's created, updated script set. Oh no. Hmm. Yeah, it seems more like... Okay. Could do that also one time, but then I would have to do these three things here again. So copy this whole loop to this function here. Might as well do it like this. Let me then add a declaration for this function, for this member function. And I also need to change the code a bit where it is being called. So I'm going to have a new case here. Well, the thing that I just added, what was it called? This sort required shader resource list, and if it returns true, we don't have to call this function. So we're using a break here, and it's really fast actually. I'm just setting this. Oh wait, that's exactly what I'm doing wrong then. I'm used to using a break. Just set state and then a break, and we leave the function, and I use the stateful task engine to re-enter this function at that point. So then we just skipped from here directly to here. But I added a for loop. So I could do return, but nah. I added this for loop here. So if I do a break, we jump to the top here, and then it switches on run state, which is still the same. Set state is not changing this run state, which is a local variable. So I can do this, but then should I set the run state as well to this value here? Otherwise the break doesn't work. Now it's questionable if I have to call set state at all, but oh well. It prints debug output, it's nice. And if I do not do that, we would enter this state without having the correct state set. So then I have to make sure that set state is being called before we leave this state. Otherwise we might enter this state again, which is definitely not what we want. I'm going to break here, so yeah, the state should be set. Just going to break here somewhere and then re-enter this same state. So let's add this new state here. Create top multi-loop. This feels like I'm missing one already. Am I not? Create shader resources? No. Two multi-loops, then create, and then two multi-loops. Okay, so that was correct. Yeah, but I wanted you to break up this function here as well. The allocate and update missing descriptor set. Which means that because I want to skip this one and not always come here through the fall through here, that I have to add yet another state for specifically for that function. So I'm going to break up this one, and it's not really necessary, but it just feels cleaner and it makes the code a little bit simpler, I think. Because this is also a re-entrant function, and the first part just does not have to be re-entrant. Now which part is that? I think it's like so this vector here doesn't change upon re-entry, so this loop does this exact same thing if I call it again. Yeah, all the way up till here I think we should only call it once. So I'm going to end the function here, and then we begin a new function. And let's use the current name for that. And then we also need to have the debug output. and using namespaces. And then what is this function doing? Well, it's preparing. That's kind of funny, I think. Is this funny or is it not funny? No, it's not funny. Yeah, this function determines the correct value of mset index end. So by the time I get here, that is fixed. So I can indeed only call this once and just get the correct size. I suppose that this resizing here is not that important. So let's name this function after whatever this loop is doing. It is, yeah, sorting all these shader resources by set index. Not ultra important. Now this has to become also a yeah, an object member, class member. Is that the only thing? Yeah, and this one. Well, VHV descriptors set layouts. I can almost not believe that it does not already exist as a member. But it doesn't. Oh, okay. So let's add this. And this. Is a member. And then here I'm just going to initialize it. Yeah, we have to. What was here? Assignment. I have to use a default constructor, so I have to do a resize here. Yeah, exactly. What? What? Oh, that's why. That's why it has to be a member. So because you use it in the other part of the function. And this one in the other, yeah. So now in the other function. Okay. Oh, let's move this to the class somewhere. So I have to give it a name now. So how to call this? Does initialization work for two vectors? Go to set layouts and share the resources per set index. It's kind of silly, I have to say, that I'm doing this here. Might as well do this. I mean, it's not like we're going to re-enter that other function a lot. It's like almost never. So, well. On this is not doing anything, not doing much, I think. It's not ultra fast, but it's it's also not a 1 million loop. So I'm not going to do this here, I think. Change my mind. Let's move that again then to here anyway. in which case it does not need the M anymore. Nobody knows what it's called. What is this? Where am I? What was I changing? There's the wrong buttons. I think I need to go to this function. Yep. And then we can rename all of these back to no imps. Okay. Well, now it's also a little easier to give this thing a name. Let's call this initialize that thing. And which arguments do I need? Awning window, nope. Set binding map, yes. Script to set layout canonical pointer. Hardly. Use an assert. I'm not going to pass it for an assert, so let's move the assert as well back to this one. Holy long time now. Okay, the out entering DC vulkan. This is a void because it just always succeeds. And now I can add that one above the allocate and update. And then we still have to call it. So I just have to call it. pausing the binding map. But then you need a new state for this one, so let's call that one outline factory initializer, whatever. And that's what I want to jump to then. Create shader resources. That was not it, but this was the one, right? Yep, so if this returns false, then we must create shader resources, fall through, and then we are here. And this is a fall through to here, initialize, and in this case we do not have to call handle shader resource creation request, so we can just go directly to this state, which calls initialize shader resources per set, and then falls through to that one. Okay, have to add this one as well. Below, this one becomes below the create shader resources. I think I'm having a good day because I'm not really lost overview today, so no need to start compiling because I don't know what I'm doing, and just continue coding. Who needs to compile when you just are making changes for hours and hours? Initialize shader resources per set index, that was my new function. And then this function is going to need to be changed as well. So I run over all these set indexes, and then we have the map here with set layout pointer. That is not correct. This should be the handle that we are looking for. So I'm going to change this to vk descriptor set. Shader resource count per set index. Have match descriptor set existing descriptor set. I must say it's getting harder again. Maybe I should go eat first. It's already late. Yeah, a few minutes ago, I'm finally looking at the chat as I usually do when I'm about to quit the stream. Danilo said, do you have a repo or something so I can check your code out and maybe help? Well, that would be great, and it is in the description. Also in the description is a link to Discord, so if you are a good C++ programmer, please check those things out. Type it as well. I type the whole sentence. I hit return and I get a wink. What the heck? I don't know. Maybe he left. I cannot do an add anymore. I can do add D. A. I see him. I click on it. But then no, not working. Well, anyway, I said it by voice, so maybe you still heard it. Damn it, man. Shit. Ja, tapped in half of it again. I don't know Lua. I'm using NeoVim, the FAQ questions. The 12-year-old questions. I won't read it out loud. Def Vital. Awesome. It does it again. I add a wink and the only thing I get is a wink. And now I have to type it again. What the hell is YouTube thinking? They have to hire real coders. Did you try this as well, Lego? I type a sentence and then I end with so let me. I'm going to type 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Space, semicolon, parenthesis close. Return. Yeah, now it works. Okay, now I'm going to do add LIGO 7. 1, 2, 3, semicolon. There it is. If you do an add, so it deleted the 1, 2, 3. I do add someone and then a sentence and then semicolon, the parenthesis close, and then the whole sentence is gone. S is the add. So you cannot address someone and then wink. Apparently, it's not allowed. Hi D. How is D to D? Okay, Artsem Lysenko, good evening. I've just visited your channel. Can I ask you what you are writing? I'm writing a Vulkan engine. Next question. What is a Vulkan engine? It's an engine for a Vulkan. No, yeah, I don't know. What is a Vulkan engine? It's a lot of code that takes work. That takes a lot of the work inherent to Vulkan out of your hands, basically, I guess. So, next question: what is Vulkan? Vulkan is successor of OpenGL, the way to access modern GPUs. API. But none of that is very interesting, because what I'm working on is, well, more like a puzzle more than anything else. Yeah, bear. Well, it's closely followed by why is this channel on my FYI or something like that? Well, how long is this project taking? How many hours? I don't know. I say I worked on it for 2 years, so let's just assume I work 365 days a week. That's what more or less what I do. Maybe I should more say I work often 6 hours in the evening, say, and then during the day another 2 at least, and now I'm gonna count every day. So 8 hours a day for 8 times 7, it's 56 hours a week, times 52 times 2, almost 6,000 hours so far, but then I'm not counting the 10 years that I worked on the concrete that I base everything on. So my own libraries. 5,000 to 6,000 hours, I guess, for the Vulkan part. But yeah, I did start to lose it here, because I did change this function in preparation to, I added arguments even. Maybe I should just stop and then continue tomorrow morning when I'm fresh again, because it really makes a difference, clearly. Set layout binding task condition type. Do I have the task here? Should have that. I don't. I don't. Well, I didn't need it here before. I needed it here. So I'm gonna add this back, I guess, as argument to this function. So a task pipeline factory called pipeline factory, and then I need a condition name for the whenever we can continue for this. Sure, I'm already having some kind of condition here, so let's add a condition for the allocate yeah, and update descriptor sets. I think I have something. I should have something like it. I don't. Allocate and updating missing descriptor sets. Well then, okay, let's call my. Oh no, happens. That should do it, except the next bit, 8. And then I'm going to pass that as the condition. Yeah. Saw a nice emote in Discord that I wanted to add now, but it's not in YouTube. No. Well, thanks. Yeah, I did inverse the meaning of this return value, I think. And now it returns true if the lock succeeds. Yeah. So, oh, there's a knot here already. Confusing. I thought I'd changed it. Well, so it returns true if the lock succeeded, meaning that we are now doing it, and if the lock fails, then it was already in progress. So this line is correct like this, and then I still have to do this fix me here, and otherwise what? Run over all the set layout bindings, and then this won't compile because we don't have a handle anymore. And it is the set layout, canonical pointer. The binding is equal increment. Yeah, we have to pass. Okay, I think here we have to do something. What do I have to do? I have to run over all the handles. Yeah, I just called this here, and in progress was false, which means that it returned true, so I do have the lock. And because I have the lock, I'm allowed to call a function that I added. I must be able to find that back. I'm sitting in the dark, I should eat. I'm just going to eat. Yeah, maybe I should just call it a day. So what I still need to do is I'm calling here. So I'm getting that lock. So I have the lock on well, you can see it here, I guess. Unlock at lock. I thought I had a. It's one deeper, so I have to add something, add a member function for this one, and then in the end I want to call this one. So this assert is not going to fire because we do have the lock, and then I should be able to get access to this container, and I have to run over that container. So I want something like descriptor sets. I can just add it here, we lock it, and then I get access to descriptor sets. Call that here. I'm gonna call that descriptor sets on pretty sure on the set layout binding. And then we run over that, so and make a new for loop that runs over these descriptor sets. And I think we already took care of this then. There's no continue. Or is there? I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow, I think. It's called a day. Maybe it's less than 5,000 hours because no, I'm not working that long anymore. So run over all the descriptor set handles here and then that we find in there, and then I'm And we should use that here. Instead of this pointer, I should use this script set handle that we are running on. And then this is simply that same descriptor set. And I cannot print it. I'm not even doing this, I think. So descriptor set is descriptor set. Binding is a binding. So there must be a loop over descriptor set. And that, my friends, once I finished it, should be fixing this problem with reverse adding the handles and overriding the null. Because the null doesn't exist anymore, and I can have multiple handles per state resource. And I'm also already taking care of this, I think. If in progress we have tried to lock a task mutex, so we're going to automatically be woken up. I can simply return false here. Bang. A user space driver, yeah. It's probably pretty close to the OpenGL driver, but then a user space for Vulkan. That Vulkan is a backend. Ah, no, I'm kidding. This even generates a GLSL code and compiles it. So I make up my own GLSL language. No, I'm also kidding. Okay, I'm just going to continue later and or tomorrow. Probably later. Yeah, probably later. It would be nice to finish it today. But Augusto, yeah. Let me see if I can show you something. And I'm assuming that you know Vulkan, right? Because you ask a question about... Or at least know OpenGL or something like that. D, no I don't. This is my full-time job without being paid, but who needs money? Well, I kind of need money. I was so smart in March to start to put money into crypto, because I thought, well, inflation is coming, long before anyone else saw that, apparently. So inflation is coming, people are going to run into crypto to hide from all the horrible inflation. So I've bought a lot of crypto, and in the last half year I lost 50,000 euros. That hurts. That hurts. Because what happened, as soon as the inflation became apparent, at the beginning of the summer, people thought, hey, inflation, that means that the Fed is going to increase the rent. And it turns out that every bloody moron is into crypto with borrowed money. At least the rich people are. The billionaires, the hedge funds, whatever. They borrow money. It's not even their own money. They borrow money for 0% from the government, and then they put it in crypto. They buy crypto. So when the inflation came, they knew that the interest rate was going to be increased. That was even before it happened. Now, of course, they are doing every month 0.75% increase. If you ask me, they're gonna continue till 10%. But okay. And yeah, then suddenly they have to start paying interest on their borrowed money. So they didn't know how quick to sell their crypto again. Plus, of course, that every government in the whole world and their mother wants to crack down on crypto because they're afraid that it will take over the current financial system. And then they will lose money and power, and they can't have that, can they? So it's a very risky business to be in crypto, it seems. I didn't sell anything, by the way. It's just a fraction of the amount that it was worth when I bought it. Let's hope it will go up in a few years again. Okay, I'm going to end the stream, and then I never do anything by leverage. You work in DeFi? Yeah, leverage is that makes you live on the street. I'm not going to do that. I put money into it that I don't need for the next 10 years. But if I lose everything, then then it's still going to hurt. Especially since the economic is going to collapse, if you ask me. Everything becomes more expensive. Money becomes less worth. It's going to be horrible. And then it would have been a little bit less horrible for me if I still had those 50,000 euros. I started to eat pea soup from Ken, and I don't know. I changed a lot of things. I can tell you that. Just even spending even less money than I did before. It sounds like I'm rich, but I'm just saving up everything, spending really little money. No car. I don't smoke, obviously. I don't go out. I don't go on vacations. I just sit here behind my PC. I think the most that I spend is on my rent, and then currently on the energy bill. Having 3 monitors and a power-hungry computer. It's getting very expensive. Well, those regulations might not be that bad. Well, maybe it's resulting in going down a little bit, but in the end, it should not be that bad. It seems that at least in Europe, the regulations that are coming in the USA are horrible for crypto. But in Europe, it seems that they are reasonable, and then maybe that will work to our advantage. But yeah, on the other hand, if America is running screaming away from are you watching the Coin Bureau? Because that's more or less the only thing I watch. And I think he recently read a 1,000-page. I mean, all those laws that they make, they write it behind closed doors. They write a book of 1,000 pages, literally, and then they a few days before it comes into law, as it were, they released it, and then nobody knows what's going on. It's ridiculous. But okay, a few heroes under us, like this guy. Indeed, he did read it, or his team read it, and from his summary, I understood that it's going to be very hard to make a new decentralized exchanges, or at least to make new decentralized coins. Maybe I should say exchanges. Maybe I don't know. I think crypto has been flying under the radar and right up till the point that I bought it. and now every government is on it and over it and wants to crack down on it. Yeah, story of my life actually. The only thing I can be sure of is that if I buy stocks, that's the moment the market crashes. So it should have crashed a few months ago already. Actually, I expected it to crash in June or July. I already sold all my stocks back then. And then even in September it didn't crash yet. That's the month that things crash. And the inflation was going up, and the Fed is going hawkish like crazy, and still it doesn't crash. It's ridiculous. So there's only one explanation for this. I sold all my stocks. That's the reason why the stock market doesn't want to crash. Sure it is. I'm going to stop the stream, but because there's someone else